everyone, and welcome to The Hash, where we bring you the latest and greatest in crypto and culture. My name is Naomi, and we have on the show Jen, Will, Zach, and we're going to dive straight into it. Some interesting news coming out of WhatsApp. Zach, what's happening there?
Yeah, so piece by piece, the original vision for Libra is kind of coming true. Oddly enough, a project that was thought to be dead seems to be inching towards the real world. This time, Novi, which is Facebook, now Meta's digital wallet subsidiary, is being integrated into WhatsApp, which is also owned by Meta, using the USDP stablecoin, which is administered by Paxos, used to be the Paxos standard. No sign yet of the DM stablecoin because that has yet to get regulatory blessing. But it experiments apace from the Meta crypto team. We saw this tweeted out yesterday, sort of noticed by the press this morning, but another interesting integration between WhatsApp and Facebook's crypto efforts. So I'm going to toss this straight to Will. Will, I don't know. I mean, it's funny to see, this comes up about a couple months after a pilot was first announced with the Novi wallet and USDP. But this to me is another interesting step, suggesting that maybe Facebook's crypto plans aren't as dead as we thought. So I'm going to toss this to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, it's wild to look back and think about where this project started and where it's ended up so far. I mean, 2 years from now, it could look very different. It could be more fully built out. But from 2019, 2018 to today, there's been a lot of change, including recently David Marcus, the leader of this whole project, leaving Facebook, leaving Meta. He's scheduled to leave at the end of this year. Just going back to 2018, 2019, I want to talk to you, Zach, about and get your opinion on this as you were kind of editing a lot of those pieces. We saw Facebook, including Zuckerberg, going to Capitol Hill, testifying on the development of this stablecoin project. It spooked a lot of regulators out there, also scared some congressmen who were looking at this project and saying, do we really want Facebook to be interacting with money markets? Do we really want them to be controlling the movement of these stablecoin dollars on messaging platforms that they have complete control of? And they said basically no. The whole project lost a lot of steam, and then they had to transition a lot, where we saw them integrate with Paxos, and then they had to change how the wallet was designed, and then they rebranded everything. So just kind of taking a look back, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on this subject.
Yeah, it's been such a saga, I mean, I think the problem with Libra from the start was that it was associated with Facebook, right? Facebook has a big kick me sign on its back, especially when it goes to Washington and politicians are looking to score cheap points on Mark Zuckerberg's behind. So I think what people were interacting with wasn't necessarily the project itself, which in retrospect was quite ambitious. It was just its association with Facebook being its founding member, right? So interesting to see that it's sort of like progressed to where it is now. Like, it's not that splashy new global currency that was initially proposed with its innovative sort of tokenomics. Now it's like, okay, what sort of like regulated partners can we tap to get some of these payment services into our products the way that our customers are increasingly demanding of us. So interesting to see that this is how it's materialized over these 2 years, but it has been a weird, strange saga since it was first announced in June 2019. I'm going to toss this to Jen. I saw Jen and Naomi with their hands up, but I'm going to toss it to Jen first.
Yeah, just off the back of what you were saying, Will, yesterday in Congress, the question came up again to Paxos CEO. They said, can Facebook be trusted with this Novi pilot? And the answer was, well, you should probably ask Facebook that. They're just a client of ours. And I know we've talked about on the show before, Facebook being trusted with launching payment services, given their really sketchy past with privacy. But, we've said before, a lot of the major banks have had huge data breaches, and no one is questioning their ability to facilitate payments and secure people's information. So that's my take on that point. But I think the user experience that was outlined in the article was really interesting and simple. And in Canada, we don't actually have we don't have Cash App, we don't have Venmo, we still email money to each other like we live in the Stone Age. And I was looking at do you guys not email money to each other in the States?
How do you email money?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have you have to go into your bank.
I want to hear your point though, Jen.
Okay, yeah. So the user experience that was outlined in the article was super simple. And we talk about the unbanked and the underbanked sending payments to each other, and a lot of the solutions for peer-to-peer payments are really like they're really bordered. And so I think to have this really awesome user experience on WhatsApp is a step in the right direction, to just sum up a lot of very long sentences there. But Naomi, I'll pass it up to you.
So a couple of things. It's on the back of what you were saying, Zach. It's not just Novi or Libra or Calibra, however you want to phrase it, that has changed. It's also the government narrative, because to start off with, the thing that they were most worried about was they're creating a stable coin and it's a weird basket of assets. This is what's really concerning to us. And now when you listen to the hearings, they're saying, well, can Facebook be trusted to run a wallet? Novi is now the thing that we're focused on. And so they're like, I mean, because Facebook didn't actually stop all of their endeavors, and the government thought that they'd kind of crushed it by saying you cannot continue your work on Libra, now DM, you can't launch until you get approval. They were like, okay, we won't launch. And then now they're saying, well, are you going to stop your Novi stuff too? You should probably stop your Novi stuff until we get this sorted out. And Facebook at this stage is just like, nah, piss off. The other thing is, to summarize, so we've talked before on the show about what the possible future will look like. You know, we have this possibility that Facebook is going to come out with their wallet and this cryptocurrency. We know that cryptocurrency is coming to messaging apps, and it's like, what form is this going to take? And now we've seen what form this is going to take. So I want to compare this to mobile coin, which we've talked about on the show before. So mobile coin, which is a privacy-preserving coin on Signal, which is the most securing messaging app out there. Now we have Paxos Dollar. Paxos Dollar accounts can get frozen at the protocol level according to their terms of service. Also, it is completely custodial. Also, it is completely in the open. There's no privacy-preserving technology in there. So that future is really coming to a fore now. It makes me really appreciate Signal's mobile coin integration more. It makes me appreciate how easy mobile coin makes it for other messaging services to integrate, because there's a lot of momentum towards what Facebook is doing at the moment, towards Paxos, things like that. And one of them is very privacy preserving. The other one is definitely not, and it's completely custodial and can be frozen and is completely censorable. So keep that in mind when you're choosing which payment method you're wanting to go ahead with. But let's change topic here. And we're actually going to go to the CIA. Apparently, the CIA is deep into cryptocurrency. I think most of us already knew this, but the director revealed some things, some interesting things. CIA Director William Burns, he made some comments at the tail end of a Wall Street Journal CEO summit. So let's listen to what he said.
This is something I inherited. My predecessor had started this, but have set in motion a number of different projects focused on cryptocurrency and trying to look at second and third order consequences as well, and then helping with our colleagues in other parts of the U.S. government to provide solid intelligence on what we're seeing as well. We're also trying to strengthen the cadre of experts that we have at CIA and develop better connections to experts and people who understand the field very well on the outside as well. Because I've thought for a long time before I came to CIA that these are challenges that we need to pay attention to, because they're going to have enormous impact. They could have enormous impact on everything from ransomware attacks, as you mentioned, because one of the ways of getting at ransomware attacks and deterring them is to be able to get at the financial networks that so many of those criminal groups use as well.
So that's a lot to digest there. Basic essence of it all is the CIA is really investigating this stuff. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories across crypto Twitter saying, like, did they invent Bitcoin? A lot of jokes saying, like, what is the most likely project that is a CIA plant out there? Like, is it SafeMoon? Is it Dogecoin? So some funny things being thrown around. I'll throw it to the group for your take on all of this. Will, how surprising is it to you that the CIA is deeply involved with cryptocurrency?
Surprising. I wouldn't say it's surprising. It's interesting that they would reveal that, though. I think most people would guess that at least one of or multiple government agencies has some sort of crypto project going on. But the fact that he said it on stage is definitely interesting and notable. And of course, it's been just like a part of Bitcoin for years and years and years that the NSA created Bitcoin, that the NSA had some sort of hand in it, or one of the other government agencies. And the NSA did invent the hashing algorithm that is behind Bitcoin, SHA-256. So there is some truth and validity to it. I think a lot of people just have some questions about how Bitcoin came out, with Satoshi Nakamoto being pseudonymous. Like, who is that person, or who is that group of people behind it? And those questions still linger today. And frankly, they're only going to become more important as Bitcoin becomes more and more mainstream. We're also seeing like all these altcoin projects, of course, that have taken off this year. And it's like a sting operation in sorts, or you have like a Safe Moon or some other crypto token being kind of launched by the SEC or someone else, and then they can kind of nab everybody. That's like a very interesting kind of thought experiment. But just on the CIA level, it makes sense that they're involved with this, especially with all the hackings that we've seen this year. Zach, I'll throw it up to you for your thoughts.
I thought this was just like a joke on crypto Twitter. I didn't realize it was like a real thing. Like, are you guys in the CIA? Are you guys also in the CIA? I'm
You'll
definitely in the CIA.
know.
You guys in the
You'll
CIA?
never know.
Who's in the
Just put some
CIA?
plugs in our YouTube chat.
Raise your hand.
Is
If you're in the
is
CIA,
control in the
raise your
CIA?
hand.
If you're in the
If you're in the CIA in the YouTube chat, you must say that you're in the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America. That's CIA operative would say that. Control. Wow, crazy. I don't know.
Control CIA.
Yeah, it's fun. It's mysterious. Cryptography. Cryptography used to be a crime. Anyway, I'm gonna toss this back to Naomi.
A couple of things that kind of made me laugh. One of them, they quoted in this article from I think it was Vice. It made me giggle out loud. They quoted Spencer Schiff, who is the son of Peter Schiff, and the way they tagged him and announced him, they said he is the Bitcoin promoter and son of stockbroker and anti-crypto advocate Peter Schiff. It's interesting that Peter Schiff is now being known as, like, his claim to fame is being an anti-Bitcoin advocate. I just found that really amusing. The other thing I will bring up is that there's so much focus on how crypto is involved in ransomware right now. And I think that it's just a terrible way to look at this. It's leading us down a dark path where it's going to start to be targeted because, well, this is a bad thing. It could be used in ransomware. We need to really change this narrative. I know I've said it a lot, but we need to change the narrative. We need to be talking about security. We need to be making sure that people have backups of their systems. Like all of you on the show, you guys should all have backups of your computer system. You should probably have 2 backups. You should probably have one that's kept offline at all times. I interchange mine every week. I'll add my new time machine, back it up to the latest thing, switch it out. So you always have at least one copy that, like, in the last week, maybe I lose a week's worth of worth. But that, that is how people will protect themselves. They need better security systems on their computers, and they need to be creating redundancy. And if we just harp on this narrative of, well, Bitcoin's the issue, we need to regulate it. There's no regulation that's going to stop ransomware. You don't just regulate a crime out and say, well, this is a crime. Ransomware is a crime. And all the bad guys suddenly go, oh, okay, I won't do it anymore. I didn't realize this specifically was a crime. Like, the bad guys are going to do the bad things, whether it's illegal or not. So we really need to be educating people about computer security. But that's enough of me harping on. Jen, I'm going to throw to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, the ransomware narrative, I think, is an easy fallback. But before we go into the break, I just want to read this tweet from Crypto Cobain on the most likely projects to be the CIA. Ready? Layer 1, most likely to be the CIA, Solana. DEX, Uniswap. Oracle Band. Memecoin, SafeMoon. Layer 2, Matic. I mean,
obviously.
It's pretty good. Solana's spot on, frankly.
Well, the perennial altcoin hater.
Any project that I don't like is the CIA. That's
it. Definitely, it just fits. Well. It really does.
Yeah.
Guys, we can't. Some
the
people
CIA,
don't
we're
listen
on
to this
you. We know. We know.
So just like lots of grains of salt there.
It's a meme.
Fun chat. All right.
It's just for the lulz.
Just for the lulz.
All right, let's take a break.
Let's go.
Let's take a break. I think the CIA would segue into this. Like Ubisoft, the video game maker, Tom Clancy, video game series. I think the CIA is like in that game series. Maybe anybody? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, they're adding NFTs, and gamers are real pissed off about it. We're going to talk about that after the break. Stick with us. Here's the hash.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Christine Lee.
Zach Seward.
I'm Michael Casey.
I'm Christy Harkin.
I'm Isaiah Jackson.
I'm Serena Lynn.
Hey, this is Will Foxley.
I'm Teresa Santos.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Lewitton.
Hi, I'm Dorian Wayne.
I'm Nicolai Day.
Hi, I'm Kevin Worth.
My name is Naomi Brockwell.
I'm Jordan Muthra.
Hi, I'm Galen Moore.
Hi, I'm Brad Count.
I'm Pete Paschal.
Hi, I'm Jen Sanasi. You're watching.
And you are watching.
And you're watching CoinDesk TV.
And welcome back to The Hash. So let's talk about Ledger, which is opening up a new crypto card. It's actually pretty interesting. You're going to be able to get a collateral, use your Bitcoin or your other Ether or tokens, whatever, as collateral, draw out some capital, and spend it on a new card. 0% interest rate as well, which actually means that this kind of card will enable a lot of people to start spending their Bitcoin, their Ether, or other tokens just like you would regular everyday cash. So it's a pretty big product in the sense that a lot of people use these Ledger products just to hold their Bitcoin or hold their Ether. It's called cold storage. And most people, when they're doing cold storage, they don't spend those tokens. They just hodl them. But now, because of this 0% collateral program, you're not going to be taxed on it and you can spend it. Zach, I'm going to throw this over to you. I think this is kind of speaks to adoption and kind of getting around some of those like tax problems that we've seen a lot of people not be comfortable with and therefore not spend their money.
I think this is a low-key big deal. Like we've seen a lot of crypto debit cards come out, but it's always been like, yep, you can just spend your crypto. And everyone was like, do I really want to do that? So having the crypto collateral thing baked in, I think is actually really smart and could be, I think, a potential game changer for some of the things that crypto is seeking to accomplish, right? Like you have, Ledger here telling us that, hey, you know what? This could actually help replace the existing banking system. And I think that's kind of right? You can keep your crypto, you can draw loans off of it and use those dollars to spend rather than spending your crypto and depleting your crypto reserves in a way that has been unattractive to date for many, many, many crypto users. So interesting to see this. I'm really curious to see what kind of uptick this product finds. Of course, Ledger is pretty popular sort of in the hardware wallet space. So, a month or two from now, I think I'm going to be really keen on checking how many people took them up on this offer because it could be interesting to see if this moves the needle on crypto payments.
I want to get Naomi's thoughts on this because you're a spender.
Well, I have some questions.
You spend your Bitcoin.
Yeah, I have some questions about it. So maybe you can walk me through it, Will. So you put this collateral in, you get a line of credit out from it. What sort of fees are involved? What sort of rewards are involved? How does it compete with other products out there?
So I didn't see anything about fees in terms of other products. There are a bunch out there, like Zach kind of mentioned. Flexa is one that comes to mind really easily, just where you have this integration of holding your crypto in a hot wallet or cold wallet, and then also the ability to spend it. The bridge between those two things is the toughest part because if you actually sell your crypto in order to purchase something in dollars or pounds or Canadian dollars or whatever you're using, you typically come into a taxable event, and that's the biggest issue here. But I think with this kind of workaround where you can instantly draw a line of credit and spend that credit, you're not necessarily going to be taxed on that. I think we should get some tax professionals on that maybe to kind of like clarify it a bit. But from my understanding of this, is you're just putting your Bitcoin or Ether up as collateral, and then you're paying that back in kind at a later date. And there's 0% interest on it, which of course is really notable because you're not having to pay that over the longevity of the credit. Maybe I'll give it back to you though.
Yeah, I think it's kind of genius and it's kind of this happy middle ground because you've got some people who spend crypto and they're like, who cares about the tax? Like the whole point of this is to kind of defund the government, and it's uncensorable, and you can do it privately, and they're not even going to know. So why do I even concern myself with that stuff? And you got the opposite side, who are the polar opposite, saying I cannot ever touch my crypto because it's a taxable event, and this scares the hell out of me. I don't want to do anything that worries the IRS. And so it's very interesting that now we have these products that are like, hey, you get the best of both worlds. You don't have to worry about tax, and then you can also spend your crypto. It's kind of catering to a large segment of the crypto community, I think. I think it's really important to be normalizing usage in the crypto economy, mainly because if we are looking for an alternative system, we have to build up all aspects of that alternative ecosystem. And currently, we've got the whole buying assets down. Everyone's doing that, but we haven't created that circular economy we haven't gotten people into the habit of saying, hey, this is something that could displace the traditional financial system. You could be using this instead of even going near there. You could close down your bank account. You don't have to have that anymore. You don't have to worry about funds being frozen and seized or controlled. You don't have to worry about them saying you can't donate to WikiLeaks. You can literally just control your own money. And I think it's just so important that we close that loop. We create that circular economy. We encourage crypto usage. And this may be a really strong step in that direction. I think the rewards in other cards has also been a strong step. I'm incentivized to spend my crypto because they're amazing rewards. They definitely offset any tax implications there. But I think this is a kind of genius way that gets the best of both worlds. But Will, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I'll add a few thoughts before I throw it down to Jen. But I think you're spot on there. Like a lot of these other projects have used some sort of incentive built into it in order to get people to spend their crypto through their project. And a lot of times that just comes back to VC money being funneled from the project to a user, or some sort of token project, or whatever the tokenomics behind it to make it work. This seems to be, hey, here's collateral, give it to us, and then you can go spend your crypto through a line of credit. I'm sure they're making money some way or the other, but it seems a little bit more straightforward. One thing that's also notable is that you can put USDC or other stablecoins into this and then draw a line of credit out from that, which means that you're not going to have much risk there of your collateral falling below a certain level and being seized or whatnot. You can just spend dollar for dollar, and it almost becomes like that stablecoin dream of being able to spend them at a Walmart or a Walgreens kind of becomes true here. Jen, I'll throw it to you for last thoughts, though.
Before I give my last thoughts, I just want to know, Zach, are you okay?
I had to cough and now I'm crying. I'm so sad.
Don't cry, Zach.
It's okay. All of us have to cough at some stage. You don't have to cry about it.
It's so true. I think this is so genius. I agree with all three of you. The only thing is I think this makes so much sense to people who are crypto native, people who really understand how crypto works. But I think for the mainstream, for people who are really going to benefit from this, and we're thinking about products like this displacing traditional bank accounts, there's still a lot of education that has to be done. I think people still see their traditional bank accounts as this safety net, although there are so many reasons why they should not. And we've seen them play out over history. But I just think I would love to see Ledger, really educate those people in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that education is just going to take time. So I think this is really cool and a glimpse into what could happen for the masses in the future. But I think there's still a steep learning curve there. But we'll see what adoption looks like. Where are we going? Where are we going now?
You're
Ubisoft.
Next.
All right. It's me. I'm going to wrap us up. Okay. So I am always so shocked at how much gamers hate crypto. And we have another story that unfolded this week. So gaming giant Ubisoft announced earlier this week that they are rolling out in-game NFTs, which launched today. This marks the first time a mainstream video game is adding NFTs to its in-game economy. Crypto enthusiasts are pumped and gamers not so much. So I have a tweet from both sides of the debate here. Robert Anderberg said, oh, hey, look at this amazing Ubisoft Quartz. Quartz is the NFT that they're launching. Let's quickly check the terms to see how amazingly empowered they're making me and how much better than a normal store this is. So this Twitter user points to some of the I guess they're just really explaining how it's going to work. And some of the bullet points here are Ubisoft has no ability to reverse or cancel transactions. Yes, because it's on a blockchain. Ubisoft has no liability to you or any third party for any claims or damages that may arise as a result of any use of the Tezos blockchain. And it goes on and on and on to just kind of explain how blockchains work. Then we have this Twitter user that says gamers are really out here hating on Ubisoft and Discord for their NFT Web3 announcements because, it must really suck having ownership and getting rewarded for playing, huh? So gamers gonna hate, and crypto enthusiasts, we just see the future. Zach, I'm gonna pass this off to you. You had in your back pocket already so many reactions to this news this morning. What do you make of it?
I was looking at this last night. There was a lot of chatter about this last night because I think this came out, and then they posted a YouTube video or something, and there was alarmingly negative like feedback. So they delisted the video. So somebody covered that they delisted the video, and then that got everyone talking about this topic. So I was chatting with some folks, in the office Slack last night, looking at some of these tweets, these takes, and it was like super interesting. And I think we're going to see this like over and over again, right? Like we saw this with this like book Twitter project that was going to do NFTs. It was called like Realms of Ruin or something. It was going to be like young adult fiction that included like an NFT aspect. It was going to be on Solana, which is a proof of stake chain that doesn't have some of the environmental costs associated with proof of work. And yet sort of the Twitter mob descended on this as, they're bringing NFTs to books. And like everyone was really mad. They canceled this project, even though some of the claims that were being, lobbied, like thrown at this project weren't necessarily all the way factual. So I think like there is just this wariness in the general public. And I think this is just like an example of that among gamers, right? They're like, oh, here come the NFT bros who are going to make some money off this thing at our expense. Oh, why do we need that in the first place? And I think we're going to see this over and over again around this conversation that there, these warring sort of factions seem to be talking across each other without wanting to find a place to sort of understand where each is coming from. So I don't know. I'll throw it to Naomi. I think it's interesting. I think we'll see more of this to come.
Yeah, I wanted to throw to another tweet. So Crypto Cobain, I'm quoting him a lot recently, but he's had some good takes.
All of us are.
He said, blind NFT hatred is the new Trump derangement syndrome. It's never going to go away no matter what. They don't even know why they hate it now. Eco NFTs? No, we hate that too. We will need a new name for NFTs and a complete rebrand like we did for blockchain to Web3. It's such a good point. Like as soon as we stop saying like, oh, blockchain technology, and now we're like, oh, Web3, guys, it's decentralized somehow by blockchain. So everyone's like, oh, this is really interesting. Like it actually makes me question what's going on, because NFTs are the obvious next step for games. And that's the obvious thing that's going to take it off. And NFTs is like such a huge part of the crypto movement right now, bringing so many people in. So the fact that there's such vitriol for something that would enable people to take their in-game assets and sell them on the open marketplace. I mean, people buy assets on within games. Like some people would rather pay for an asset rather than work through the game to earn it themselves. So we know that they value this. We know that there's monetary value there. But the idea that this could be sold like outside of the game on an open marketplace, people have such vitriol. Honestly, it makes me wonder whether a lot of this is a planted narrative. I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but we know that there have been lots of planted narratives across the crypto space over the years. That's been like deeply investigated. This just seems to be so strange that the community has such blind hatred of it that they're even ignoring like it's so against it that even the ecological things are kind of settled. They're like, actually, this is not bad for the environment at all. It's on this chain, and Tezos is proof of stake, and there's still such blind hatred for it. So it really does get some questions arising. But Zach, let's wrap this up.
Maybe the real CIA is the NFTs.
Right. Maybe their whole project is
all NFTs.
Changing the gaming narrative.
That's it. CIA NFT, more like it. All right. Anyway, good times. We're going to get to the bottom. We're going to get to the truth of this matter tomorrow on the Friday show of The Hash. Stick with us. That's it for today, but it's been good. It's been good times. We had tears. We had conspiracies. We had dogs. We still have the pumpkin, by the way. Will, your pumpkin is still there, just so you know.
Well,
it's not rotting yet, so I'm going to keep it.
Yes.
You can keep it till it's rotting.
Okay, watch out. Okay, he's going to keep it till it's
rotting. You should put like a Santa hat on top of that pumpkin.
Oh, that is smart. That is that's smart. I like that. All right. That's awesome. That's kind of the smarts you're going to get with a hash every day, 5 days a week. That's Jen Sanasi, everybody. We got Naomi Brockwell. We got Will Foxley. We got Zach Stewart bringing up the rear. We'll see you tomorrow. We love you lots. All right. Have a good Thursday. Yep.